ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GTMR season 5, round 1. I am in the booth here with the Pfeiffer man himself. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, welcome to round 1 of GTMR Season 5. Happy to be here tonight with you, Eric.
Yes, it is definitely a wonderful night here as we are in Imola here getting ready to start. We have 20 minutes of qualifying. For those that do not know and that are new to GT Meister racing, we do a little bit of almost a realistic form of practice and qualifying with the race. So the practice session and the qualifying session is held on in-game on like a Saturday, while the race is held on a Sunday to kind of give it more of a realistic weather and temperature approach as they go through. And this track is definitely something interesting. So a lot of the F1 guys, or a lot of the F1 fans as well as MotoGP fans, it's very similar to Monza, but you have a lot more elevation.
And just to review our practice times tonight, we had Arduin with a 141.867, followed very closely by Fernandez, Hasbrock, and newcomer Falota. And Artem rounding out the top 5 was only 6/10 back. So some quick times out there for Imola. A track I'm really familiar with. Done a lot of ACC here. Was just here last week in iRacing's IMSA category racing this track. So it's a great track and has great corner names as well.
Oh, very much so, as we are actually on board with Alex Arduin. He is rocking the Porsche this season. He managed to finish, I believe, second in the last season's championship overall. He decided he was originally going to go the Audi, but then he asked if he could run this amazing liveried Porsche here for this season. So
It is an
definitely,
amazing livery. That thing is badass. Kudos to that livery, Eric. That thing is sweet.
and that man was sitting provisional pole in the practice session. So the question is can he follow up with that during this qualifying session? And we've got 27 drivers that are going to try to make it around this track.
I'm riding along with Ricky Scott right now, and unfortunately, he seems to be lagging a bit, sliding around the racing surface in that gunmetal gray McLaren. Hopefully that gets sorted out for him, and it's looking like he's got a little bit of netcode going on, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like
Ricky's looking to have a good night tonight, too. He's been sweating that LFM, putting in all those races over at LFM, so he's looking to have a better result tonight. Seat time is seat time.
that is very much true, as we see Ricky Scott work his way on the downhill here, coming through in that McLaren. I know he was having a little bit of struggles last season trying to get that McLaren to work for him, but it seems like he has been able to make it through here. All the drivers definitely working their way around.
Uh-oh. Alex Ardoin in the chat, in the game chat. Something's up with the server, Eric. Everyone's ping is crazy. Oh, yeah, everyone's ping is through the roof, Eric. Let's go back to the starting soon screen and reboot this server, I think. Oh, yeah, everyone's sliding around like crazy. I think the box might.
Never had an issue before. Hold on. You want me to reset the whole computer? Alright. Alright, I'll restart the whole computer then. Pain in the ass. No, you told me to, yeah, you told me to restart it, so. Why? I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, it's the principle of why we do it the way we. Fine, I'll set it to Sunday. No, I mean, I get it, it's fast, but I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's. I'll set it to Sunday. It's. Probably what, like the new person? It says it on the calendar, it says it everywhere, it says it. It's probably the reason why the guy never went out. This is not how I wanted this season to start. It's in the I put the pin in the welcome thing, so it should be done here very shortly once it gets past the welcome part of Windows. I mean, because it was still optimum by the time it went into qualifying. Uh, Alright, perfect time for reverse grids. I really need to update this fucking game. Like, I know it doesn't take that too. Yeah, it's got the full ACC web. This is so weird because we were doing all of this. Practice server was fine. Wednesday's thing was fine. Don't update Steven, just stop. Alright, ACC web's up. Okay. Just wait. Just so it comes up optimum, I'll just set it to what it is. Day of the weekend. I didn't start the server yet. No, it's starting now. I think I have it set like that. Doesn't matter. I need to speak to the manager. just all right. Let me just make sure it pulls up on. Yep. Okay. All right. We're good. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I apologize for the delay, but we are off and running, and we are going to get everything going. So, again, I truly apologize to the viewers for missing out on this race. Let's take a look and see. We were definitely watching Alex Arduin as well as the other drivers making their way around the track, especially Farmer. Not Farmer, I apologize, Farmer. Ricky Scott working his way through our through Imola on the downhill section. Fife is with me. Qualifying is going. They've got 20 minutes.
I am still here.
The
Things
track,
look a lot better.
the pinks do look a lot better, even though Cole Bennett did crash the server.
Him and
So
his high ping.
him and his high ping. But let's see what we've got going out here. Drivers are working through. A huge shout out to the drivers for being patient, working with us as we are trying to eliminate the issue here as these drivers are working their way around. 8:34 is the car out in front of everybody, and that is Aiden Hasbrock. He is your Season 3 championship leader, championship winner. Farmer, our prior season winner in the NSX, was not able to make it and join us here in this series. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one to see where Aiden actually sits in this overall championship. Now, Fife, as a driver, I know you've raced at Imola multiple times. What is going on in your mind as a strategy here in qualifying?
Just get out on that first lap, get the heat into the tires, into the brakes. Usually I don't feel very good until oh, just seeing McKenna getting a bit wide there at Aqua Minerale and sliding off the track. I usually don't feel comfortable until my second hot lap, but you know, at that point I'm going for it. I like to push really hard through Tamburello down into turns 5 and 6 of Villeneuve, and I hope I said that right. And turn 7 I can also make up a lot of time, usually Tossa, I believe they call that turn. So there's a lot of places on this track where you can really just send it hard, and you know, if you don't quite get it to stick, you're still going to be on track and you're still going to be okay.
That is very true. As we are riding along board, Hasbrock, it does not look like his time is really gaining, but Rare's Gabriel Folty, I believe is his name. He is a new driver that has joined us. He's sitting 5th overall without a time, but he is up 2/10 on his time. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what that black and pink BMW can do around the track here at Imola.
I don't know. Oh, I guess he is out on his second lap. I was gonna say I thought everyone was still on their hot lap, but yeah, you're right. If you want to go to the picture, I can ride along with a couple other people. We have some people that are up on their time. I'll take a look at Andrew Lloyd right now. Sorry, Andre Lloyd. He is in the pink The all pink BMW.
And Andre Lloyd should be in the Porsche, if I'm correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do apologize. What was going on? I'm clicking Lloyd, but it's showing me Flota? Folty? That is really strange. I am double clicking Lloyd in the No, no, no. What is going on here? This is
See,
no.
as Aiden Hasbrock did not set a time, but Fulte did get a 142.320. Riviera at 8 tenths back. McNeil now 2 seconds off the pace of Fulte with Shuffler, a newer driver, and then Alan Zhu 3.77 off the pace. Let's take a look who further back is on a move. Irfan in the Honda NSX, the white and purple one, making their way around the grid down into the final chicane. What can they do as they work their way through the double left-handers, utilizing all the Kirby
What?
there in that Honda NSX?
This is strange. I might need to reconnect. I am clicking like Lloyd, I get Flota, Folty. I click Cooper, I get
Yeah,
Fernandez.
oh yeah,
I
you'll probably have to reset your broadcasting client.
all right.
Yeah, and then yeah. See, he did not set a valid time. It would have been a 142.4, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that if he, as a driver, makes their way through. But Matt Artem, he was looking super racy in season 3 and kind of falling off just a hair of the pace as James Parks moves out of the way for the Audi driver. As here we come, Matt Artem, as he's working his way down the back straight. James is going to try to get that big toe down the front straight, and Matt Artem puts it on pole with a 142.245, 0.075 ahead of Forte. Aiden Hasbrock now with a 141.7. He knocks out Matt Artem by 4 tenths. Fulte is 5 tenths off the pace of Hasbrock. Fernandez falling off the pace with Riviera
You
slipping into P4 spot.
go back to full screen if you're not already. I cannot get my broadcasting tool to
No, it's
connect now.
understandable. Let's take a look at Andrew Cooper. He's up 5 tenths coming out of the final chicane, working his way through. We're going to see Alex Ardoin in that Porsche ahead of him, going underneath that lovely loading arm sign. Here they go through down into the final 2 corners. Let's see what the black McLaren of Andrew Cooper can do. Here he comes out all the way wide. Actually, that is Lloyd, Andre Lloyd in that Pac-Man car as they work their way through.
Feel free to go back to picture whenever you want now. I
Oh,
have recovered and I am good. I'm riding along with
here we go.
Stefan Buckley, and he is 2 seconds up on his best time right now.
Andrew Cooper coming in, calling it close and tight there at the end of that pit lane. He's managed to slot himself P14, 2.7 seconds off the pace of our provisional pole leader of Aiden Hasbrock. And huge shout out to the youngest driver on the grid, Carter Bennett, in the number 11. That's in 11th place in the 720 BMW. He is a huge Red Bull fan, and he's sitting P11, 2 seconds off the pace.
When Buckley improved his time, he moved up to P8. Going to switch my camera over to Ricky Scott now and follow him for a lap.
What's interesting about that is we actually have one of the youngest drivers as well as one of the oldest drivers that we have in the league, even though Stefan Buckley is faster than me. In here, let's take a look. Who else do we? And we have Mr. LaRock, or AKA, as I like to mess up and screw names up, LaCroix in the LaCroix.
I believe he has a LaCroix. Yes.
He
yes.
does have a LaCroix sponsored Mercedes AMG as a tribute towards me and my inability to pronunciate names. So it's definitely interesting to see him rocking out that Mercedes AMG, and that's actually a car that I chose for him to race this season.
Well, it's a shame to see him not in the Lexus again this season because I'm a huge Lexus fanboy. But at the same time, good to see people switching it up, trying new cars. You know, you can't just drive one car all the time. You'll get bored.
That is very true, but hey, look, we also have a fellow driver of the ARC group, Mr. Andre Afonso. He is running the Lexus, so at least the Lexus love still continues here at GT Meister. So So let's take a look and see. Let's follow one of our newer drivers.
I'm
Speaking of,
currently following McNeil as he is 3/10 up on his time down in the picture-in-picture.
and here comes Afonso on the upper picture-to-picture section. He is working his way through onto the main straight and is about to cross the line. It's in P27 with no time. He slots himself P10, about 1/10 off the pace of Andrew Jashty. We saw him have a rough outing last season for season 4 in the Audi. So definitely good to see him back in that BMW, the car that he's so used to, as Mohammed Irfan sets provisional pole at a 141.752, 0.045 ahead of Aiden Hasbrock in that Bentley.
And Liam still up on his time as he's approaching the finish line, just exiting Ravazza 2, heading for the finish line. Oh, he lost yeah, it looks like he lost that time, unfortunately. He's still down in P18
Now we
for
have
Liam Curbs McNeil.
Chrysler Yort here working his way on the downhill section of the middle part of Imola, working his way back up to the final chicane in that beautiful yellow McLaren he was rocking last season. He's going to have a Mercedes right behind him in tow, but the question is how much is he going to try to get by without having that Mercedes-Benz causing an issue here? That's definitely going to be the interesting one, to say the least, here. It doesn't look like the AMG is going to possibly get in the way. Yort is still going to run his line as they work their way through, and he's about to cross the line here shortly. We still have 10 minutes left here in qualifying.
Crow just improved a little bit, but not enough to switch positions as I rode along with his pink eraser Crow Mercedes.
Let's see, and Yort slots himself P19. Very strong pace and performance there. Let's see, Devin McKenna in the BMW M6, ladies and gentlemen. This is very odd. Usually on the PC side of things, a lot of people have given up the M6 and have stuck with only the M4. So it's definitely really cool to see drivers still showcasing love of the older vehicles here.
I'm riding along with McNeil on my screen. He is 5/10 up, 6/10 up on his time now. He's exiting Ravazza 2, heading for the line. 3/4 of a second up. He is flying right now. Should see him improve quite a bit.
Here we go, Arduin in the top screen. He's coming through the final chicane here, working his way through onto the straight. He did not invalidate, but he's still up 2/10 on his time. That if he can hold this in on this lap, that 2/10 possibly could give him about pole position here. Let's see what he can do. It looks like he's lost it a little bit, but can he make it up in the final quarter? And around the bend, the back end kicking out on that Porsche. Here he works his way onto the main straight. Does he improve? Oh, he does not improve his time. He's still sitting there P4. 2/10 off the pace of that Honda in P1.
I'm currently in Helicam watching one of our Bennetts. I'm not sure which one. They're in the Bentley. Maybe you could tell me, but
That
they are
Cole
a quarter
Bennett.
of a second. Well, Cole Bennett is a quarter of a second up on his time. He just exited Tossa and lost some time there, unfortunately. Car's moving off the racing line to give him some room, but he is losing all the time he made up in Sector 1, unfortunately.
What a shame there, as we see Brian Katz, P27. He's working his way. He just crossed the line and actually brought himself in 5/10 to P26. So he is improving as the qualifying is going down. So it's definitely good to see as these drivers are working their way through. The biggest mover right now I've got is Andrew Jashke, the driver in P10 in that BMW. He crosses the line, slots himself up P8. So drivers are finding pace and space on this track. Switching along board, Aiden Hasbrock, as he's coming through the final chicane. I'm just catching drivers coming out of the final chicane as he's working his way down the hill in that Bentley. Timing board is showing a 10th up on his time. So we'll definitely have to see if he's able to keep this going into the final hairpin piece. A little slow on the brakes. He's probably resetting his lap. He probably made a mistake here because he just lost about 1.7 seconds of his time.
Andre Lloyd crossing the line, about to improve by 1/100th of a second in the Pac-Man Porsche. Krister Hjort also about to wrap up a hot lap. He's a 1/4 of a second up on his time, but he's bleeding that off a bit now as he makes his way up to the start-finish line.
Wilson Fernandez has been able to leapfrog Riviera in that Honda for the P5 spot. Now, Wilson Fernandez, for those that did not know, back in Season 4, he was battling it out with Farmer, who is not here, and Alex Arduin for the top championship spot. So it's definitely interesting to see what kind of pace and performance he can find with that Mercedes AMG here at Imola. As Ricky Scott is up 4 tenths.
Sorry, Eric, but Folty and Zoo just came together down into Aqua Minerale, and that's a shame because Folty was up on his time and he scratched up the paint of the Euro Heat Porsche, and Folty immediately back to the pits and pulling right back out.
And here we go. Ricky Scott is about to cross the line. He is still up 2 tenths, even though that there is drama going on around the track, and he slots himself up to P11. He's 5 tenths off the pace of the P10 driver, so 1 second separating 1 through 10. What an amazing, about 5 tenths separates 11 through 18 here in this race. Ooh, Ricky Scott cutting it close there, which looks to be Brian Katz, and the only driver I can see right now is Devin McKenna. He is up 1 tenth in that BMW M6 as he's reaching that hairpin here at Imola.
I'm currently riding along with new driver here, car 97, Ronan Medina. But fortunately, I thought he was only 4 tenths down on his time, but I misread that, and he is 4 seconds down. So I'm going to switch over to 6th place right now, Kevin Riviera in the NSX. He is almost 3 tenths up on his time.
McKenna definitely having to catch the brakes, watching that big, heavy BMW M6 slide his way out of the corner. He lost it there in the downhill section, and a driver that we haven't really talked about very much, especially last season. He kind of missed out on part of the season, and that's Louis Benora. Louis Benora running the Mercedes AMG. Last season, he raced the BMW and had amazing battles in the midfield. He's definitely showing a very strong pace. He's sitting P20th now, and he's .007 off the pace of Chrysler York for that P19 slot. So right now he's sitting in the front of that 3rd pack here at Imola, but he's still up 4 tenths, so he could actually bring himself closer to Andre Lloyd, which he does. He is
at the front of the field. P1 right now, Mohammed Irfan. He is flying right now. He is up on his best time, which was already pretty quick, a 1:41.7. He is almost 4 tenths up on that time as he makes his way down through the chicane, and he gets ready to head down into the final sector of the track. See if he can hold on to that. Just went through Variante Alta, heading for Ravazza. He is still 3 tenths up. Ravazza 1. Ravazza 2, if he holds on to this is going to be a 1:41.4.
As we see here, Andrew Cooper, who is on my screen, he was on a fast lapper, but he caught a bunch of the rumble strips, and that's going to throw him off. But Medina, I apologize. As Afonso's knocked him down to P10, he's up 7 tenths on his time. Coming out of the final chicane, 7 tenths will put him into that top 5 possibly here as they go through. See what he can do as he comes down into the final hairpin. You know, a lot of drivers always ask me, why do I have the Enduro lights on? And I say I'm like the Walmart driver. I always drive with my lights on, and now I can honestly see it from other drivers. And here comes the Mercedes-Benz driver coming across the line. He's up 8 tenths. How much does it leapfrog him? To P3! 4 tenths off the pace. Almost 5 from the leader.
Another person that's ready to make a big move here, Eric, is Benora. 6 tenths up, 7 tenths up almost as he's making his way to the start-finish line. Let's see where this slots him in. He's in P19 right now. This is going to move him up quite a bit, I think, to P11.
Wow, what an amazing pace and performance he's been able to find in that Mercedes-Benz. And here comes Andre Lloyd. He's up 1 tenth up to the final sector. He has the provisional pole leader right behind him as they work their way through. He has McNeil in front of him. He is trying to find as much pace as he possibly can in that Porsche. He could possibly, if he can reel McNeil in coming into the final 2 corners, he could get an amazing tow onto the main straight to help that Porsche improve a little bit more, because McNeil is ahead of him in qualifying here at P18. Here he comes around the final corner. What can he do? He has found 3/10s. Now he's 4/10s. Boom, up to P12. Just leapfrogging Ricky Scott by 0.025 of a second. What an
Whew.
amazing lap by these drivers as they're starting to showcase. Alexandre Larocque, I apologize, coming across the line. He went from P15 to P2. The times are falling, just as Skeppy has said in the channel chat. And now Aiden Hasbrock up 2/10 coming into the hairpin. He is sitting P2. The leader, the provisional pole sitter, is sitting in the pits right now. So if Aiden Hasbrock can find pace here on the big screen of the dual screens, you will see him. He could possibly put that Bentley on pole here at Imola with 35 seconds left to go.
Are you watching Hasbrook?
Yep.
Because I'm also watching Hasbrook. I will switch off to Faulty. Faulty is 8/10 up while you watch Hasbrook. But yeah, Hasbrook could get close to Mohammed right now.
Hasbrock has
Faulty 8/10 up. Holy
Arduin.
crap, where's this going to put him?
Arduin is now 3/10 up on his time. Arduin could possibly. Hasbrock dipped out. I'm aboard Arduin. He's 2/10 up on his time as he's about to cross the line. Can he put the GTMR Porsche on pole?
Faulty
No.
had 8/10 of a second. Did not move from P8 with that time. We have no time left here in qualifying. Cooper, sorry, Andrew Cooper, 4/10 up. Apologize for my voice. I'm losing it.
Rocks looked like he was going faster, but he lost out a lot of that time. He is in a freight train with McKenna as well as Cole Bennett up there in that other Bentley here. As LaRock definitely working his way. McKenna moves out of the way. Here comes LaRock. He still has a 10th. Louis Benora is still setting a fast lap. LaRock looks like he possibly lost it out of that final corner by catching the dirt. He did not improve that heat, so he's going to solidify himself in P2. In P12 there in that race. And then let's see, Fulte, he is P8. He's up a 10th coming through the final chicane in that pink and black BMW. They go through the final 2 corners. Let's see what he can do as he goes through. He is going to be the final car. Does not look like he's improving very much on his time as he works his way in across the line. What does he do? Just slightly 0.03 off the pace of Riviera. Wow, what an amazing battle by these drivers. Definitely showcasing their pace and performance here at Imola. What a spectacular thing as we are going to jump along board with these drivers. Let's take a look. Irfan with your pole sitting time of a 141.4, 2/10 faster than Alex Arduin's Porsche at 0.23. We're actually going to be jumping in here, and we are going to be riding along board. We're going to do the Axia's famous down the grid here, so we're going to definitely switch this up here in a second as we go through. Hello, here we go. Let me see if I can remember all the new drivers and their cars. Here comes Irfan in that Honda as Alex Arduin in that beautiful GTMR Porsche as Aiden Hasbrock in that Bentley. Definitely switching it up from the McLaren from the prior seasons as we have Mendina in the Mercedes AMG. Matt Artem still rocking out that Audi. Definitely good to see that performance of the Audi definitely showcase himself. Wilson Fernandez, we're going to have to keep an eye on him and see what he can do. He started in the back like this before, but he's also found his way on the pole position, as well as the podiums, as well as the other NSX driver of Riviera. Definitely looking super strong here in this race, as we have Fulte. Fulte's looking super strong as well as for a new driver, but the question is, can he hold back Andrew Jaschke, one of the fast BMW drivers that we have in this league? Andre Afonso, an ARC Apollo driver, definitely showcasing the performance that he's had here prior in that Lexus. So that's definitely going to be an interesting one to see. Louis Bernard definitely coming out strong on his first race for the season in that Mercedes-Benz AMG LaCroix. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. LaCroix on the car, and I am loving the Mercedes AMG pink and blue. Definitely interesting to see how he plays out. Andre Lloyd looking super strong in that Pac-Man Porsche, so definitely be interesting to see how he works his way through the grid, as well as we have Ricky Scott in that McLaren, definitely looking super strong, trying to improve himself from the LFM series that he's been racing with over the break and see where he can do himself in GTMR. We have 1 minute left. We're going to try to go through this as fast as we can. Stefan
Beat it
Buckley
up.
looking good in the Audi. Cole Bennett in the Lagger in the Bentley, as well as Carter Bennett, the youngest driver in the Red Bull BMW, as we have Andrew Cooper in the all-carbon fiber McLaren because he never sent delivery to us. And we're going to start roasting people. McNeil looking super strong in the Audi because he felt that the Audi was looking super good. And Chrysler York in that beautiful McLaren. Alan Zhu in that Porsche. We also have Shuffler in that Porsche as well for the ARL series, as we have the only Nissan driver Kaufman, and then we have James Parks rolling out in that beautiful neon green McLaren, followed by, I don't remember which McLaren that was, with McKenna, and then we have Brian Crack. Oh, that's Carlos Pato. I apologize, a newer driver that we were not able to see on the track, and I apologize that with him, as we are going to be jumping back, and I got the full grid,
He
and I'll
did it, guys. He did it. Well done, sir.
thank you very much.
Take a breath.
Oh, and then some. As we watch the drivers roll out, it is 5 p.m. at Imola. The track has dropped 4 degrees Celsius here on this track, so that is definitely, we're going to go to Fife here on this question. Now, Fife as a driver, and you see things like this happen all the times. Qualifying starts to roast, but then all because it's midday, the race is a little bit more towards the afternoon, and those temperatures drop. As a driver on your formation lap, what is going on in your mind?
Well, hopefully they had the thought to look at the temperatures as they sat there on the grid and they adjusted those PSIs in their setups before they decided to launch the car. If not, then I'm just trying to get the tires as hot as I can. I am typical me. I overdrive the hell out of those front tires, especially my front left. For some reason, I'm always beating the piss out of it. So I'm just trying to see where the tires are after 2 or 3 laps, and then starting to make those micro adjustments in the setup screen for the pit stop to fix those PSIs if I've missed my mark a bit.
Very true. Spoken from Fife in the warming up the tires. And of course, you could always get the start race curse where you accidentally shut off the traction control and find yourself in the wall. Thankfully, we have yet to see that here in this series. But we have Mohammed Irfan definitely looking super strong in that Honda. But the question is can Alex Arduin take the battle to him in the GTMR Porsche here, as he's been able to put this on P2 on that front row? But that Bentley, the one thing is that Bentley definitely knows how to showcase its abilities to go over the curbs and succeed here. So that's definitely going to be something that we're going to have to keep an eye on, as the Honda NSX is starting to slow the grid up. Everybody's starting to get the tires warmed up, and we're about to get racing.
Yep. And if you haven't already, pop that thing right back over to picture in picture for our race start. I will be following the second half of the grid while Exia will be focusing on our leaders. And we'll make sure that everyone gets through turn 1 and 2 safely. Hopefully we don't have any accidents, any pileups.
Very true. As we get ready to get started here, I know we have last season's championship winner, Taylor Farmer, in the chat watching from work. Huge shout out to him, as well as the Xbox boys that have just joined us this season. So for those that would like to definitely participate and don't have a PC, we definitely have an Xbox League that you can join in to race. They're very competitive and very fun to hang out with as we get ready for the green lights, the calm before the storm. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I have my eye focused on Padron here at the back of the grid, just to keep our eye on what might unfold ahead of us. Not a big fan of this chase cam, but fortunately, I feel like it gives us the best view of what's going to happen ahead of us here. Maybe actually we go to cockpit on my picture-in-picture if we see something happen.
Go. They're approaching the line. Green, 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 and we are racing, ladies and gentlemen. Here they go. Alex Arduin making a move on the outside down into turn one. Here they go. Side by side, everybody definitely not trying to make it. Oh, there's a little bit of tap out of the Mercedes duo that were running the same livery as they were working their way through. Irfan is definitely pulling away a little bit. Aiden
That didn't
Hasbrook.
affect the back end of the grid at all.
Aiden Hasbrook looking to make something happen on Alex Arduin in that Porsche. And we have Matt Artem being attacked by a Honda right behind him of Kevin Riviera as they work their way through. Irfan has not been able to separate himself enough to get a big gap. And as we see the Porsche of Alex Arduin working his way through, trying to make something happen as we work our way down. Full team looking super strong. He's going to have a few drivers. And then here we see LaCroix hunting down his former car of the Lexus of Andre Alex Alfonso down into on the downhill part of the track. Here they go, working their way through. Wilson Fernandez trying to recover as much as he can with Andre Lloyd right in front of him with Stefan Buckley. Definitely getting swarmed by the Mercedes-Benz of Medina. Down here in the further back part of the grid, here they go down into the final chicane. Medina trying to play it a little bit more safe here rather than racing, as we see Andre Lloyd catching the rumble strips here, launching that Porsche. Wow, what an amazing start of the race by the drivers here, as we start to see Matt Artem check up on the brakes behind.
Riding along with Ricky Scott down in the picture-in-picture right now. Everyone seems to have had a pretty good first lap. There was a little business in turn one, but everyone recovered nicely. Didn't see too much, didn't see anyone really lose out too much.
No, we saw Wilson Fernandez as well as Modena fall back a little bit, but they managed to recover. You know, seemed like one of them possibly broke themselves. So right now it's usually just a mistake that they have to work their way through here, as we see Afonso and LaRock taking the battle. And here comes Ricky Scott trying to make something happen up on the inside.
Kaufman on the exit of Tamburello, turns 2 and 3. He overdrove the car, oversteered off into the gravel pit. He has recovered it though.
Here comes Ricky Scott. He has been trying everything in the hairpin, as Stefan Buckley's getting swamped up by the Mercedes-Benz. He probably didn't think that the Mercedes was going to try to go around him, but he manages to accidentally squeeze him off, but given the space. But right behind Ricky Scott is Wilson Fernandez in that charging Mercedes-Benz. Ooh, you can definitely see the difference between the brakes on that McLaren and on that Mercedes-Benz going in the downhill section. As Alex Arduin goes off the track in the front, that's going to leave Aiden Hasbrook out there. And now, Matt Artem, these boys are going side by side, door by door, as they work their way. Ooh, there's a little bit of a tap. Here they go through. Alex Arduin going to having to check out, going into the double left-handers onto the main straight. Here they go. Can the Porsche use the Audi to get the big toe down the back straight? But Alex Arduin is going to get attacked by the Honda.
Fernandez is attacking Ricky Scott here on the start-finish straight. Just got a really good run out of Ravazza too, and it looks like he's going to be going by him.
The Honda is going to try turn one. Alex Arduin covers. That's going to shut the door on the Honda right behind him. Arduin has seen way too much of the Honda from the prior season. He definitely doesn't want a Honda in front of him as they work their way through the Sector 1 and Sector 2 part of this track. Everything is
Fernandez
definitely...
did get through on Ricky Scott there.
So now Irfan has separated the gap to 3 seconds from Aiden Hasbrook, with Matt Artem 1.3 ahead, 1.3 behind Aiden Hasbrook, with Arduin 4/10 from Riviera 2/10, and Andrew Jashny all freight training right through here, with Fulte still on the outside looking in, trying to make something happen as they work their way through this race.
Buckley right now just flying through on Medina. Makes up a position into P13.
Ooh, as we see Fulte, he is definitely having to catch his brakes with Andrew Jaschke right in front of him. Seems like one of these drivers definitely is running a different brake bias here, as Fulte is definitely putting the pressure on Andrew Jaschke. Ooh, and it looks like Fulte had to check out to let Andrew Jaschke through as they work their way through the grid. Let's keep an eye, but we're going to follow down with Andre Alex Afonso as they go through. And there you see Louis Benora, a driver that we hadn't been talking about before. We talked about him in the start of the grid drive down, and now we see him in this battle for this P8 position as now Andre Afonso is definitely trying to hold off the battle as we start to see LaFolti. He is, looks like a Honda got swamped, and now the two BMWs, and the Honda just tapped the back end of it, but the BMW's been able to recover. Oh, the battles are growing here. Honda's on the outside, the BMW's on the inside as they cover through, and the trees get in the way. Horrible trees. I'm all for the
Horrible
environment.
trees.
I'm all for the environment, but those trees can get cut down. As they go through, the Honda's going to look on the inside, but he checks out with the pink BMW covering up the inside, and we see Afonso definitely getting a little bit of a separation with Alexander LaRock, not LaCroix, LaRock. Ooh, looking
Tongue
at
twister.
oh, the three Mercedes AMG drivers. Now, if I was in voice chat, I probably would be telling these three drivers, hey, let's all work together. Let's all be a team here. Let's get through the grid as Wilson Fernandez showcasing his ability to outbrake and definitely stay with LaRock here through that final chicane. What an amazing job he has. I mean, some of these drivers, it amazes me how well they are able to use the brakes and just get through the grid without rear-ending someone. It's definitely very, very interesting. Let's take a look. Who else do we have that's a super close battle here as we watch these drivers work their way through in this freight train?
It's like to say too, we're on lap 3, and already Irfan has pulled a 3-second gap to P2.
Yes, we are.
And if we're looking for some battles right now, let me see what I can find for you. Wow. Everybody is really gapped out. You have one of the Bennett's P15 right now, right on the back of Andrew Cooper. We got Cole Bennett on the back of Andrew Cooper.
Oh, he is all over the back end. Medina is getting swamped right now. You can see it. Ooh, looks like there's a little bit. He had the emergency hazards on, so now McNeil and Medina must have a lot of damage as they work their way through the grid.
Not sure what happened to him. He definitely looks squirrely coming out of Tamburello, turns 1 and 2.
And they enter the camera no angle of the hairpin. That's what I'm going to call it from now on at Imola as they work their way through. We're going to see this amazing freight train of the drivers.
Shuffler right now is also all over the back of Christer Hjort. Keep my eye on that for you.
Here they go through down into the downhill section as, thankfully that Bentley can utilize a lot of that curve, but Ricky Scott now is going to take the battle to Cole Bennett here. He's going to look to try to capitalize into the final chicane, and the purple Audi just sends it, trying to make something stick there of Liam McNeil, and now that's going to allow Medina to try to get the inside run down into the final two left-handers. So that's definitely not going to help him. That's one of those risky corners where you want to try to make something happen in that final chicane. But, if you lose out, you're going to lose out in the final two corners of this race here. As we're going to...
Sorry about that, but the younger Bennett on the back of Hjort, while Shuffler just made a move on him, almost ran himself right into the back of Hjort.
And, Carter Bennett now on the inside working his way through. Yep, jumped over there to watch that as everything is starting to develop here.
Shuffler's already pulled a big gap on those two quickly.
Hjort's
Got
going to try the
0.6 of a second.
outside line. Carter's going to try the inside. Nice job on Carter working his way and checking up behind these two drivers and working their way through here in this race. We're going to slide up a little bit more. Let's take a look. Where is McNeil and Medina? Here they go through the hairpin as they work their way up the grid. Cole Bennett still looking super racy as McKenna gets a 30-second stop go. What a,
Oh no! What for? Any idea?
probably to fix damage. It did show that he was in the pits.
So he was in already. And right now, LaRock, P10, he is just behind Benora, and he's got Fernandez all over his rear right now.
Yeah, Wilson.
Oh, he ran it wide on the exit of the chicane, unfortunately. And Lacroix dropping back behind Fernandez right now.
As Lacroix still trying to make a comeback on Wilson Fernandez.
Oh, did Lacroix hit him? I switched away.
Oh, it was close. It was close. Lacroix went off the track. Now that's going to give a little bit of a breathing room for Wilson Fernandez, but that's also going to allow Andre Lloyd to work his way back through the grid here. So let's take a look as we have Alex Arduin here. The close battle for P3 as Aiden Asbrock sets the fastest lap of the race. Now he's only 2.8 seconds off the pace of Mohammed Irfan, so he's been able to keep P1 at a very distant, very close lap, you know, without a huge amount of separation. As we see Matt Artem getting a little squirrely with that Audi, the question is the Audi starting to chew up its front tires because the Porsche is just sticking with them all the way through this race?
Looking around throughout the grid right now, not any super close battles. I mean, we have a couple here. Ricky Scott on the back of Liam McNeil, 4/10 back. We have, again, I think it's Cole Bennett on the back of Cooper, and 4/10 there. Hjort right behind Shuffler still, but the gaps have started to spread.
Deleted Fox, thank you for the follow. I apologize for not seeing that sooner, but thank you again for the follow at GT Meister Racing. If you'd like to participate and join, check us out on SimGreen, where you'll find the link in the host sections to join up with us. As we go through, Arduin now 2/10 off the pace of Matt Artem as he works his way through here into the final two corners. The battle of the German power, who is faster, the Audi or the Porsche? The Porsche looking super strong. Is this the run that he's going to need?
The gap at the front has come down a bit. It was 3 seconds, a little over 3 seconds. It's now a little under 3 seconds. So hopefully we can see that gap close down and have a battle at the front.
Yep, and here we go. Is Arduin going to send it? He's going to try to look, but he backs out of it going into the first chicane. Take a look what is close. Fulte versus Andrew Jaschke. Andrew Jaschke loses it, catches the curve. Here goes Fulte. Now Andrew Jaschke's going to get attacked by the Honda of Riviera, and he's going to have Afonso right behind him. Ooh, Riviera in the brakes of the NSX. He manages to slide right through the back end of Andrew Jaschke. Loses it just a pinch. Oh, we switched the camera though.
Still some great shots there as they move out of the hairpin and head up the hill.
Here they go. What can Jaschke do? Can he take the fight? Jaschke probably lit his rear tires up pretty well because right now he's on getting attacked by Andre Alex Afonso here down the downhill section of that with that Lexus as they work their way through.
Got my eyes on Medina right now. There's a close pack back there. Medina, Bennett, and Cooper all really tight together as they come down through Aqua Minerale. Oh, and Medina just spins his tires a little bit, gets a little bit loose, and is going to lose a little bit of time. He's going to fall back into the clutches of McNeil and Scott.
What a shame there. We'll just jump back there real quick and see. And there we see McNeil and Ricky Scott still battling it out as they work their way through. And in the chat on the Twitch stream says Deleted Fox, I'm here to watch LaRock win. Ladies and gentlemen, huge fan. We actually have a fan for Alex here in this race.
There's a first time for everything. Lacroix.
And we see McNeil trying to get that big fat toe from Medina onto the front straight. Question is, can the Audi make it stick as they work their way through? Which is very surprising. You'd think with the horsepower of that Mercedes-Benz, you know, there'd be a little bit of a gap, but that Audi is looking super strong here, even with their BOP hit that they gave it on it. And right now, Alan Zoo is going to have Chrysler York right behind him. And ladies and gentlemen, The pit window has been open for 5 minutes. I've been doing a horrible job at keeping up with the temperature, keeping up with the time of when the pit strategy opened up. So right now, for those that are new, the pit window is 40 minutes 40 minutes long in the race. I apologize. 40 minutes long in the race, so it
He
opens
doesn't
with.
know, ladies and gentlemen. He
I do.
doesn't know.
Nope. So the pit window has opened up. The question is who is willing to take the try for the long shot as McKenna has dove back
It's
into
too
the.
early for that.
As we work our way through York, 3/10 off the pace. He's trying to catch the Euro Yeet Porsche of Alan Zhu. Alan Zhu looking in P19. If he can work a little bit of an undercut strategy, even though he's 9.8 seconds off P18, you know, he could possibly sit himself very well in that points. For those that do not know, at GTMR, we utilize MotoGP. Oh, it's Chrysler York spun. He spun in the final
No!
chicane. Ooh, James. Well, we got some of the drivers moving out of the way, so he manages to get back and be perfectly fine now as Andrew Cooper and Cole Bennett are battling it out with Medina McNeil, as well as Ricky Scott, all battling it out here.
Yeah, Ricky Scott, McNeil, Medina, Bennett, Cooper, they're all pretty close together as you watch. I'm riding along with Liam McNeil right now in his first-person view, and he is not too far back from these guys. Bennett right on the back of Cooper, and Medina looking right at the back of Bennett. This is a tight little spot, and Ricky Scott's right there as well. Why don't you go ahead and go to picture-in-picture for a bit here, and we'll keep our eyes on this battle.
Very much so. I'm going to jump up along board here with the front pack here, because here we have Alex Arduin. He is still all over the back end of Matt Artem. They have fallen about a second from the front two packs, but Hasselbrock has still been able to keep Irfan within 3 seconds of striking distance. So if Irfan has a tendency of making a mistake with bad traffic, he can still work through. But man, Alex Arduin definitely still putting in the work in that Porsche in hopes to make a successful run here at Imola. I was talking to him prior to the start of the race in the practice session, asking what's his thoughts of the Porsche. And he said,
just saw someone use the in-game chat. Come on, guys, let's not do that. Very distracting to the drivers on course.
We see Arduin working his way around the grid here. When I was asking him, he said, you know, his main concern is the season overall, as we will be going to Barcelona next weekend, as well as Brands Hatch. So he said he knows that the Porsche is definitely going to be a super strong car there, that he's hoping that he can maximize the most amount of points with
Ricky Scott came in the pits early, Eric.
Ooh, the question is how much is that going to be helpful? As we see Arduin trying the outside of Matt Artem. Arduin definitely, I've noticed some of the drivers utilizing a very wide line. Ooh.
Yep, Cooper just ran it a bit wide on the exit of I'm a little confused as to where we are on the track right now. On the exit of 5 and 6, and it's allowed Medina and Bennett to close right up on him.
I know Cooper talking with him prior to the start of this weekend's race here. After talking with him, he definitely was super happy with being able to go back to the McLaren and wanted to be able to have a strong performance in this league. He says he loves racing here, and he really wants to have a very good pace and performance. So that definitely be an interesting one to see what he is able to close out here with him being P14 in this race.
This battle for P13, 14, 14, 15, 16, and 17, very interesting back here. And up at the front of the pack right now, Arduin, not too far behind the car ahead of Artem either.
No, they have been nose to tail this whole entire race as Lacroix dives into the pits. Stefan Buckley dives into the pits.
I can't tell you how much I love the Lacroix stuff, man.
You know what? We're just going to roll with it from now on.
If we mess your name up, it's because we love you.
Yes. lots of love. As we're gonna jump into the Twitch chat and see Sprightly, one of the Xbox drivers. Huge shout out to you. Thank you for watching. He says great stuff, quick and clean. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching the stream here. Hopefully, if there's early predictions, we'd love to hear what you guys all have to say as we jump down. As Let's Race Taylor says, Hasselbrock possibly taking advantage of the Bentley's fuel tank and mileage, extend and skip the traffic in fighting. That's definitely a very strong possibility. A lot of drivers, they don't really think of that. They just look at, all right, where am I at? Where is there a possibility of me coming out in this race? So that's definitely going to be an interesting one, to say the least. My big question is, as now Aiden Hasbrock is now down to 2.4 seconds. How much is Irfan? We're going to ride along board with him real quick, as he's going to jump LaCroix into the first chicane. As Aiden Hasbrock has now brought him down to 2.1 seconds. So could the NSX possibly be having tire issues? LaCroix just moves out of the way and says no thank you, as they work their way through here in this race. So now this is getting to become a spectacle as the
If you could
Italian
respectate my screen, unfortunately, I muted and my microphone decided to not unmute, so I had to reconnect to the chat.
Okay, of course.
Thank you, sir. Sorry about that.
No problem. As we work our way through here, taking a look at the NSX. Give me 1 second.
I try to mute my mic so you don't have to hear me cough, open beers,
Oh, no,
trip
I've
over the
got you.
dogs.
I still got you. You're still good.
All right, wonderful. I was commenting about how Farmer is correct. The Bentley has a huge fuel tank. I've actually seen the Bentley back in the day when ARC used to do 90-minute sprints, and we didn't enforce fuel. I saw a Bentley once, I believe it was a 90-minute race. It might have been, no, I think it might have been an hour race where the Bentley just went the whole race without having to pit.
So we are 38 minutes, the 38 minutes left. I apologize. And we have Alan, Zoo, and Mendina diving into the pit. So I think, honestly, a lot of these drivers are going to be trying to do the undercut strategy here in this race. As Let's Race Taylor says, oh my God, Aiden can win this. There is a very strong possibility that Aiden can win it. Because right now, these two drivers, even though it says 3.1, they are nose to tail working their way down the front straight into the first chicane. And Alex Arduin still looking to make something happen to Matt Artem here in this race. Now, as a driver, we definitely, we've heard a lot of wonderful advice from you from the races here. Now, as a driver, if you put yourself in Matt Artem's shoes, what is going on in your mind? You've got traffic in front of you. The driver behind you has been within 3/10 of striking distance and has just pushed you for about almost a full 25 minutes in this race.
Well, I think the driver behind is, playing a little bit of cat and mouse right now, just kind of toying with the mouse. We know Arduin is quick. We know Artem is quick, but I haven't seen Arduin attack at all. He's just sitting back there, so I kind of feel like he's just waiting and biding his time right now. What's the gap between Artem and Hasbrook? I can't seem to see it.
It's
Okay, so the gap is 6 seconds. Oh
yeah.
no! And there it is. Artem ran a bit wide, and that's going to allow Arduin to go by. I really do think.
But do they have the pace?
Oh, into the chicane! Oh no! Oh my goodness!
What a beautiful move by Arduin.
Kudos to both those drivers for not wrecking one another. That was a crazy place for a pass.
Very much so. Now, I'm going to jump
It's
down.
not over. It's not over.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Check down on the bottom screen as Arduin and Artem battle it out. You're going to see up on the front part of the screen, we're going to see Wilson Fernandez still trying to work his way up to Afonso. He's 2/10 as these drivers are all freight training in front of them to work their way through, as McKenna seems to be in the way, but now that's going to allow Wilson Fernandez dives into the pits. That's going to allow people to get through here in this battle as we go through. Everything is just spicing up here in this race as we switch over along board, watching as we see Matt Artem battling it out with Alex are doing here in this race. Now, I definitely noticed as Cole Bennett was the first person to pit out of that big field between Andrew Cooper and McNeil and Medina. So definitely be interesting to see where they place out here in this race.
Now, the gap is growing to Hasbrook. It's come down a little bit, but it hit 4 seconds a minute ago. I don't know that, just having the ability to stay out a bit longer and fuel a bit later and having the lighter car late in the race is going to be enough for him to close down that 4-second gap. Mohammed hasn't made a mistake yet all night.
Ooh, as we see Riviera right behind Folty. They are trying to work their way around Cole Bennett here down into the final chicane. The NSX is going to try to make it squeeze, and he does. Oh, wow, what a move there. That was a little close. Thankfully, Cole Bennett has the car to go over the curve because that one was a super close one with these drivers here.
I've got Hasbrook right now on the cockpit cam, trying to find a good view. I forgot which one I like.
As they go through now, the question is can the Honda of Riviera manage to make it up? Now, Matt Arton has just fallen off.
Oh, no. No. Aiden makes a huge mistake. Sorry to interrupt you there, Eric. He makes a huge mistake in Tamburello, goes off of turn 3 into the gravel trap, and he is now going to be at least 8 seconds back.
Ooh, as now we have James Parks in the pits and Louis Benora in the pits. So Louis Benora in the pits, he's one of the first big front top guys to dive into the pits here in this race. Now the question is everybody from P16 back has pitted, but nobody up front hasn't pitted. Now we understand like some of the drivers, as Irfan being 8 seconds away, he's kind of got a little bit of a freebie here from not having to pit, like without having to take a bit of a like almost like a penalty for having to worry a whole lot. But the question is how much is the undercut from these drivers that are in the bottom of the grid gonna succeed by the drivers up in the front? Because of course, by the time they dive into the pits, these guys are gonna kind of just catch them.
I'd like to point out that Tyler in the chat mentioning that the McLaren getting killed out there, that it needs a little bop. I don't know if I said it before on stream, but we recently just did the BOP for the GT3 LMP2 IMSA race for ARC, and the only car that didn't get any bop was the McLaren because it is just so bad, just so bad. I don't know if it translates between the games, but
And here we go. Aiden
like...
Hasbrock in the pits, Irfan in the pits. So both drivers are in the pits, 1 and 2. So they're definitely going through the same strategy. So that's definitely going to be an interesting one. Now the question is now these drivers are falling back in the order. And from what a lot of people don't know is, doesn't matter if you're leading the race. If you come out and the person next to you is a battle for position, they're gonna put the doors out and stick their elbows out and make you work for it. As we see Afonso trying to make something work here on Andrew Jaschke, 2/10 back from him. Andrew Jaschke definitely having to try to work for it here in that BMW.
Pole right now, Cole Bennett right on the back of Medina. He's got a couple of cars behind him.
And that's going to be Jaschke and Afonso right behind them.
Is that what I'm seeing? Okay.
Yep.
I was a little confused by the lap traffic.
So this is definitely going to be an interesting one. Cole Bennett has served his pits. Medina has served his pits. And now you're having faster drivers approaching that haven't served their pits, even though this battle is not for position, but they are considered as the faster traffic. So this is definitely going to be an interesting. Ooh, Jaschke gets a little bit of a break on his tires.
Wish there was a way to have the leaderboard show me actually who is where rather than standings.
Oh,
Be nice to see who's actually where they are on track as opposed to the cars around them.
Oh, and we see the two drivers of Jashki and Afonso dive into the pits. Riviera in the pits. Arduin is in the pits. Matt Artem and Folty is still in the pits.
So we hit that section in the race right now where everything kind of quiets down for a few minutes, and we have to wait for everyone to get out of the pits.
Let's take
And
a look as we see. Oh, actually, we do have a battle on the track. Wilson Fernandez. Oh, looks like he got Kaufman in that Nissan GTR. Kaufman still has yet to pit. The lonely Nissan GTR. We're going to give him a little bit of screen time here as he is racing in that black and purple. Looks like he's got a little bit of a front end damage there. So what a shame there, as we see Andre Lloyd has yet to pit. Chrysler Gort Shuffler has still yet to pit, and Kaufman, and McKenna has still yet to pit. He's definitely trying to stretch it out as far as possible. Ooh, Cole Bennett getting a drive-through.
what?
Wow, that is definitely going to be a hurtful one for him. He was in that top 15 battle
No.
position for points, so now that's going to shoot him back in further in the grid. As looks like Andrew Jash, Aiden Hasbrock, I apologize, he is going to be coming out of the pits, and that is going to slide him. He's going to have James Parks right in front of him as he's working his way through. James is such a wonderful professional driver here in the league. He lets him by and lets him through here, and now Aiden Hasbrock 7.3 seconds off the pace of Irfan. Irfan is definitely, he's got Alan Zhu right in front of him as we're riding along board him as they work their way on the downhill section, the middle section of Imola as they go through. So right now it's showing Irfan is 29.4 seconds off the pace of Andre Lloyd. So they may be able to pull something off and getting and Alan Zhu just lets him by, knows that he's not really going to have a huge competition battle there with him. And we're going to see, it looks like the provisional leader of the race will be catching the BMW M6 of McKenna here in this race into the final corner. Here goes the Honda. McKenna moves out of the way, lets him through. Let's take a look. So he's going to leapfrog Andre Lloyd in the pits. This is slot of P3 now. But Aiden Hasbrock now 5.8 seconds off the pace. Within about a lap, he managed to knock down 2 seconds of the time between Irfan. So Aiden Hasbrock definitely trying to make something. You can see him in the back of that image there, trying to catch him as fast as possible here in this race. Oh, Carbonado says, damn, that sucks. Big shot. Oh, something must have happened with Carter Bennett because we do not see him here in this race. Looks like he lost it.
Got a drive-through, I believe.
No, Cole Bennett had the drive-through. Carter Bennett looks like he possibly had a lot of damage or disconnect. He is in
Right.
the...
I'd like to propose that the Bennetts change their name. For our sake.
For our sake, yes. We have Matt Artem in the pits. Now the question is, did Matt Artem's overcut work against Alex Arduin? So let's take a look. Where is Alex Arduin in the strategy? He is coming up the hill. Here he's got Aiden Hasbrock right in front of him. He's approaching the final chicane. Where is Matt Artem? Matt Artem is sitting in the pits right now. Here comes Alex Arduin running, utilizing a lot of curbs for a Porsche, which is very surprising here as they go through. Looks like Matt Artem is moving down the pit lane. Now, did the overcut fully work here? That is the big question. Here comes Alex Arduin. We're going to ride along board Helmet Cam as he's working his way down the main straight.
The pro, not too far back from Andre Lloyd. This could be something to watch. Bolte right behind the eraser.
Here they go. Matt Artem's coming out of the pits. Here comes Alex Arduin down into turn 1. Oh, Matt Artem catches the back end of him. But Arduin manages to save it, and here they go through. Now Matt Artem is going to have to push the door. He's got the fresher tires, but Arduin has the warmest tires as they go through. As Dank Roma comes out on the thing, says, Where is Ricky Scott at now? Ricky Scott is sitting. Where is Ricky Scott?
Where the frig is Ricky Scott? Why don't I see him?
Ricky Scott is sitting down in P22, ladies and gentlemen. He is out of the race, I believe.
Huh.
Yeah, because it's not allowing me to select his name. That's a
Yeah.
very interesting one.
Let me check the GTMR chats, see if he said anything.
As
No.
we see now, let's see
I don't know
Alex.
why he would have retired either.
No, he was having such a wonderful race as Alex Arduin manages to get around McKenna, and he's got Matt Artem on the back end of him. Here they go into the final chicane. Can Matt Artem manage to make something stick? He's utilizing a lot of curve on the track here.
You want to go picture in picture right now? I am following along with the LaRock and the Lloyd battle. LaRock right on the back of the Pac-Man.
So you're keeping an eye on Matt Artem and Alex Arduin because this is provisionally the position for P3, but did Fulte manage to make something work here in the pit strategy? I do not see him moving out of the pits.
I believe we have Ricky in chat on on Twitch right now. It says he's not in the race right now. It said he had 13 seconds of damage, no point in finishing.
Oh man, 13 seconds of damage. I'm sure you could have managed to.
There is always a point in finishing.
Oh yes,
there is always a point in finishing. You never know what's going to happen in the field, and I can understand, you know, wanting to just say that's it for me tonight, I'm done. But I've been in races where I've been down and out, and 5 cars have wrecked themselves. I've made up positions and ended up in the points.
As we have 23 minutes left, all the drivers but Chrysler, York, and Shuffler going the super long strategy, as well as McKenna. They are going the super long one, as Kaufman now is going to have to serve his 30-second stop go. Well, say that 5 times faster. As we go through, Artem still on the tail of Alex Arduin. Now Alex Arduin is going to catch Alan Zhu here on the uphill part of this with the fresher tires. Now the question is how much is Alan Zhu going to be able to move out of the way and possibly let these drivers through? Because we do know Alan Zhu is, let's take a look, Alex Arduin's getting a beautiful run. Alan Zhu moves out of the way. Here they go. Matt Artem in the trail. Alex Arduin using him as much as possible. Oh, Artem super deep on the brakes to catch him.
Just a moment ago, LaRock got through on the Pac-Man Porsche.
And Shuffler is in the pit, so that should... Let's take a look. Where is Shuffler in the strategy? He is not out of the pit rotation just yet. Aiden Hasbrock now brought the distance between him and Irfan to 5.9 seconds.
I'm going to take a look at Artem. He is still hanging with Arduin here in the picture-in-picture. We have Artem right on the back of Arduin still. You're also watching that though, aren't you?
Oh.
No, you moved over to Chrysler Hjort.
Yeah, Chrysler Hjort, the only driver has yet to pit other than McKenna. McKenna also served a pit probably to fix some damage to keep going. The question is, how much is this overcut really going to help Chrysler Hjort here in this race? And that's definitely going to be, but the Pac-Man Porsche of Andre Lloyd still 8/10 back from Lacroix here in this race. This battle is definitely developing to a super strong one in that front pack of those 3 drivers, 5/10 away. But let's see, let's take a look at where Fulte is here. He is almost about to reach the end of York. Now we know that battle is going to end shortly the minute York pits. So let's take a second. So let's think about 45 seconds to pit. It's 30. He will come out somewhere, probably P19, I'm going to say, by Alan. That's my non-educated guess on the pit rotation for him. As they work their way through, Fulte is definitely catching York in this race. So York in that yellow McLaren, definitely looking super strong. Lloyd, we're going to jump down with Lloyd here in a second because Andre Lloyd is now all over the back end of Lacroix in that Mercedes AMG, that Pac-Man Porsche, looking to gobble
That battle
up that.
won't go away.
York dives into the pits. Well, definitely. Let's see if my mental understanding is definitely gonna of how pit strategies work. And Mechanic dives into the pits.
Currently in picture, we're watching Mohammed Irfan, Team Techno, car number 404, leading here at Imola in GTMR Season 5, Round 1. This guy's put on a masterclass right now. New to the league, don't know much about him, but he clearly has the pace.
Very true, very true. As they work their way through here, through turn one with Andre Lloyd, 7/10 back. Lacroix manages to find a bit of pace here in that Mercedes-Benz. Now he's going to catch up to Kaufman here in that GTR. So these two drivers are definitely going to have to work their way through this traffic. And then looks like Medina is in the background looking in, 3.3 seconds off the pace there. I also thought it was, I thought it was very interesting that you said that the leader of the race's team name was Team Techno and his number was 404 as an error 404. Thought that was quite the fun laughter there. Oh, as the GTR driver just decides, you know what, hey, I'm just going to get out of the way. I'm not going to hold anybody up. As we see Louis Bernard, a huge shout out to him as a driver, sitting there P10 right now. In this race, so that's definitely a huge shout out to him. As we see Riviera here in the race, we're gonna jump along board Riviera as Mechanic. It's a 30-second stop go after. It is not his race today, but he is definitely sticking it out and keeping this battle going. And a huge shout out to him here in this race as Mechanic is definitely going super slow around the track with 30-second stop go. Hopefully he can get around the track, possibly maybe he under-fueled or possibly sped, but huge shame right there.
Down in your lower right, we're still looking at Andre Lloyd and Mr. Lacroix. This battle just won't quit. Trying to find something else here to focus on, but even though we have a pretty large grid tonight, these gaps have really spread out. The field is really spread out right now. Fernandez, 8/10 back of Afonso. Maybe I'll go have a look at that. We know Wilson's got pace. Oh, yeah, he's closing up quick. Oh, man, Wilson's closing up real quick. He is all over the back of the bumper of Afonso right now in the Lexus. The Lexus has no answer for the Mercedes at the moment.
Now, Aiden Hasbrock is 4.8 seconds off the pace of Muhammad, so he could manage to reel him in towards the end of the race. So this may be a possibility to see him get within striking distance.
If it doesn't come together for Aiden, I still imagine he's going to be pretty happy with that P2.
Yeah, I mean, to still get a podium, especially with a car that he's not used to driving, I would be, you know, being overwhelmed. Ooh, as Andre Lloyd catches a lot of curbing there in the Porsche, but that's just going to allow Ronan Medina to catch up. So we're going to do a little bit of a run down the grid here for the ladies and gentlemen that are all watching as McKenna dives in the pits to service 30-second stop go. As here we have Mohammed Irfan, leader of the race here at Imola for GT Meister Racing, working his way.
Led every lap.
Led every lap. Yes, that is very true. He's catching up to Cole Bennett in the Bentley. Congratulations to him so far in this race, but we still have 16 minutes and 40 seconds left to play. And here we have Aiden Hasbrock, 4.3 seconds off the pace, still within striking distance in case something happens. Sitting there P2, Alex Arduin sitting there P3. And guess who's there? Matt Artem, 7/10 back, hauling and chasing Alex Arduin down, and he is now reeling him in even faster in this race as they go through here. Fulte sitting there P5 in that BMW, a newer driver here in the league, looking super strong going through the final chicane. Kevin Riviera, another new driver here in the Honda NSX, looking super strong. Super happy to have him here in the final chicane. But speaking of the devil, Andre Alex Afonso, you're watching the in-cockpit view. I was watching the outside view as they work their way down into the bottom two left-hand corners here. It's very interesting to see the inside view of how these drivers race. And see how they make the rotation. Wilson Fernandez had a lot of performance and a lot of pace. I cracked a joke saying that Wilson Fernandez was out for blood after falling short for a couple of the races last season, and it seems like he's driving to survive now in this Mercedes AMG as he's trying to fight down Andre Afonso. Andrew Jaschke, a longtime driver here at GTMR in the BMW, sitting there pretty safe there in P9 with no drivers
Oh,
around him for the battle.
sorry to interrupt you, Eric, but Fernandez just made a little bit of a mistake into turn 2, and that's allowed Afonso to pull a gap of 1.6 seconds.
Ooh. Oh, Aiden Hasbrock, now 2.8 seconds. What has happened to Irfan?
What?
Irfan, his catching, he is on the back end of Cole Bennett. He has still yet to pass Cole Bennett, but Aiden Hasbrock now to 2.8 seconds. The question is, did Irfan utilize a very fast grip tire to where now he's possibly like lost a lot of pace? Matt Artem still 6/10 off the pace of Arduin though. Question is I'm looking at Irfan's car and I don't see any damage, but he still has yet to pass Cole Bennett here in this race.
Still got my eye on Fernandez and Afonso, but nothing seems to really be happening here. Fernandez just can't seem to get onto the bumper and get by. And I would think that the Mercedes wouldn't have much of a problem getting by the Lexus here at Imola.
Now the weird part is so Irfan's sitting like he's 2.9 seconds. He's been able to keep that gap between Aiden Hasbrock, but Cole Bennett and Chrysler York this is a massive battle for position for P17. So he's probably trying to push Cole Bennett to get closer to Chrysler York to make a battle to possibly, you know what I mean, to get a little bit of a tow or possibly to get by super easier if you get both of them closer. But Aiden Hasbrock still on the outside looking in on this battle here as it's developing, and this is just something.
Now Medina is approaching the back of Andre Lloyd as well. Now Andre Lloyd said he was retiring from ARC after his race last week in Zolder. Wonder if that's true.
That is definitely an interesting one that I do not know. Ooh, Cole Bennett. Oh, a little bit of a tap. Oh, no, that's going to slow up the leader on accident as Cole Bennett's going to have to move out of the way. But now that's going to allow Aiden Hasbrock. Chrysler York is probably going to allow... Oh, Aiden Hasbrock is now within striking distance of Irfan down into the final two corners. Here he goes. Can the Bentley reel the NSX in? The Macca, the
Got a drive-through right now for car 30.
Mr. Folty he was having such a wonderful race. Now
Must be track limits.
Very much so. Now we have to keep an eye and see what else can happen. Aiden Hasbrock now 7/10 from the pace of the leaders. Matt Artem 4/10 from the pace of Alex Arduin. So this battle towards the end with 12 minutes and 10 seconds left to go is developing super strong. Aiden Hasbrock super late on the brakes. He's reeling the NSX in. Can he push the NSX to make a mistake? We're 6/10 still making our moves in as they work their way through the hairpin. We're going to say no to the trees here as they work their way up the hill.
You and the trees, my friend.
If Kunos asked me for one change in the game, and that's going to be the trees, and then to make the V12 Aston more modernized.
And Medina all over the bumper of Lloyd. He's right there. It says 6/10, but it feels closer.
Yes, and that is so true because now Aiden Hasbrock.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Medina on Lloyd. Oh!
Ooh, I'm seeing in the view. Looks like there was a bit of a tap that they went wide.
They did. I mean, this is just the way I see it right now from my point of view, but I feel like Lloyd could have left more room.
Aiden Hasbrock got a beautiful run out of the final chicane. He's going to take a look on the inside of Irfan. He's going to send it. Steep late braking, side by side they go. Irfan's going to have to check out of it. Here goes Aiden Hasbrock for the lead of the race with 11 minutes left to go.
Lloyd fought back on Medina. Now Lloyd in the lead as they head up to Piratella. Hang on, checking the map. Piratella. I was right.
Yes, thank you
Lloyd
for the
back ahead.
Thank you for the follow, TLP Stim. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Glad to have you here. As joining us as Aiden Hasbrock is now 4.451 off the seconds ahead of Irfan. As Irfan in the NSX, is he going to try something for the lead of the race to get back? He's led every lap so far, but the question is can the former champion of Season 3, Mr. Aiden Hasbrock, keep it going here in this race? Can he hold what he knew he wanted to do? He said he was a little bit worried with the Bentley because he raced the McLaren most of his whole GTMR career, but he is looking super strong, ladies and gentlemen. Not to mention, it is 6:53 p.m. on the track time, and the temperatures of the track has dropped by 4 degrees Celsius. Did Aiden get it set up
Whoa!
right?
What the Aiden passed? How did I miss this?
The same time Lloyd and Medina both had an accident.
Wow, what happened to Irfan? Did something happen?
No, the final chicane, Aiden was able to manage to secure a good move going over the rumble strips to allow him to gain the time to catch up to him for the final 2 corners to make the move down the inside on him.
Wow,
But
that's
Irfan
amazing.
is still 5, almost 6/10 behind him, and the battle is still developing. But the battle still is developing between P3 and P4. Are doing it, Tim, are battling it out.
And
back to
P5
back.
with the drive-through still.
The question is how far is he going to push that drive-through? We know that he's going to have to pit within 3 laps, and that drive-through is going to drop him dramatically. But now 7 temps, Irfan is losing it just a little bit. I think the NSX possibly cooked his tires. But the question is Aiden's definitely going to have to keep it locked in as they go through. Oh, and now the drive-through, he's going to serve it. How far is he going to drop?
At least P10, I would say.
But now
possibly P11.
But if he drops back too far...
Oh, no, sorry. He's only going to drop back to P8, I would say, because Jashki's 29 seconds back.
Okay. Here we go, Irfan. His tires must be dropping off because now Irfan almost a second off the pace of Aiden Hasbrock, your Season 3 champion, trying to bring home the W at Imola here in this race. He is looking super strong. Oh, and he gets a 30-second stop go.
Ooh, Fulta. Oh, he didn't do it right. He blew his drive-through.
Oh man, but now Wilson Fernandez 4/10 off the pace of Riviera. For that battle of P5, Fernandez trying to recover as much as he possibly can.
James Parks right now under attack by Shuffler back at P20 and 21. Woo!
We're going to jump along board Wilson Fernandez as Wilson Fernandez catching the brakes as he's all over the back end of Riviera in that NSX.
James Parks goes wide, heading down into the hairpin turn, and that allowed Shuffler to pass.
Here goes Wilson Fernandez. Is he going to possibly make something happen with the NSX? Is the temperature messing with the NSXs? We saw one NSX drop. He's dropped to 1.5, now to 1.6 seconds off the pace of the Bentley. Is the temperature affecting the NSX, or could it be possibly the tires?
A little further down the field, LaCroix. He's on the back of Folty and Benora. Sorry, that must be some lap traffic. Take a look here.
That should be Louis Benara on the bottom screen.
Yep, it's Benara and Folty. Now, Folty's going to have to go in for that stop-go 30. This is going to allow Larocque to make up at least one position. I see no reason why he can't attack Benora. He should be able to drive with him.
Very true. Now, Irfan has now dropped to 1.8 seconds off the pace of Aiden Hasbrock. Tim is still 7/10. Both of those drivers are definitely going to need a little bit of a rest and relaxation. And now, as we were talking originally in the race where it was a little bit dead, this is what happens at the last 6 minutes of the PC series. The battles now start to swarm. Now we have Stefan Buckley within a second striking distance of Andre Lloyd. As we're going to jump over here, where is Stefan Buckley as they reach up to the hairpin? We're going to switch cameras so we don't have to look at trees. So here we go.
Eric's going to burn down all the trees.
Nope, not all the trees. We're only going to cut down what we need to for that hairpin. As they go through. Now the question is how much is Fulte not helping Louis Bernard? I mean, we know he needs to serve a 30-second stop go. There's 5 minutes remaining. You know what I mean? He could finish. He's going to get a massive time penalty. You know what I mean? It's like, would you rather just pit and then hope for the best, or... Wait, this is interesting, though, Fife. Irfan has dropped now to almost 3 seconds to Aiden Hasbrock, while Ardoin is now at 7.6 seconds. Ardoin is catching P2.
Oh, man. I think it's a little bit too late, though. I mean, 7 seconds with 6 minutes left. Oh, sorry, 4:45 left? It's not possible. It can't be possible.
Now
I mean, Ardoin's a great driver, but he just can't do that. That's too big of a gap with too little bit of a time.
4.2 to 6.3 now. So the gap is growing from Irfan to Aiden Hasbrock, and Ardoin is now to 6.3. We're going to wait to see what happens when it develops again. Wilson Fernandez still all over the back end of Riviera here.
I'm still watching LaRock in the pink mark, chasing down Benora, 1/10 back.
Let's take a look here. I'm on with Wilson Fernandez, 3/10 back from Riviera. Now it seems like Irfan has managed to recover his time. He's still 4.6 off the pace of Aiden Hasbrock, but now Ardoin is down to 5.64 from Irfan. So the time is dropping dramatically. I'm with you. I don't think he's going to catch him by the end of the race, but if anything happens, there's a strong possibility of something happening.
I'm going to switch my camera down a little further to Chrysler Hjort. Not too far back of Bennett. Bennett, I'm sorry, is on the back of Hjort.
Wilson Fernandez going to make the move. It does not look. He catches a little bit of the curbing there with that Mercedes AMG.
Trying to keep our eye on the time of Lacroix and Benora, 5/10, but we have this battle between Hjort and Bennett at 4/10, so I'm keeping my eye on that.
As, Fulte dives into the pits to serve that 30-second stop go. Wilson Fernandez all over the back end of the Honda NSX. Is he going to send it? No. He checks out of it.
He is close, huh?
He is definitely putting this Honda through its paces, trying to hopefully, my guess is he's trying to hope that the Honda breaks the back end, but this is allowing Andre Afonso. He is only 1.7 seconds off the pace.
Oh, man, Ravazza won. Bennett just got on the grass a bit. And Ravazza, too, he's in the gravel trap as well. He's run out wide, and he's going to lose that gap now to Hjort. Although it says he didn't lose the gap to Hjort.
Oh, the switchback. Wilson Fernandez
he did. There it
makes it work on the Honda. Now here comes Andre Alex Afonso. He's going to get now the run on the Honda NSX. Here coming up onto the main straight. What can the Lexus do? Can the big V8 get the toe? And there is a cone on the main straight, and Afonso said, "Get off my track." Knocked it away. Oh!
Picture in picture right now is with LaRock chasing down Benora. Keep our eye on that in cockpit
Andre
view.
Afonso just tapped the side of the doors of the NSX of Riviera and just bounced them a little bit off. And it looked
Look
like
at that gap. Oof, 0.08 of a second.
Riviera lost it out a little bit. Now we're going to take a look.
Ardoin! Drive-through penalty for Ardoin!
No, for the Ardoin driver. Drive-through. Oh, what a shame with 1 minute to go. Ooh. Now he's still able to manage. He could still, like, depending on where he is at on track as Fulte gets another 30-second stop go.
What the? Fulte just having all kinds of problems tonight in the pits. Really got to work on that pit entry, pit exit, because every time he comes in, he gets another penalty.
Yeah. So he was working on getting super close. Now we're down to 33 seconds. We're going to jump along board. Aiden
He
Hasbrook.
was in the top 7, I believe, or top 8 at one point.
Who Arduin is now going to serve his pit here as he goes through. Yes, he was in the top. I believe it was top 5 at the time, and he's actually
So
fallen.
clearly he's racy, but has some problems with the pit lane. Hopefully, he can figure that out before round 2
That is
because
very much. Now Arduin, he has a big separation from Wilson Fernandez, so he can still get a top 4 here in this race at Imola, but it is definitely going to be interesting to say the least. As we are riding along board, this is the final lap. We're on the big screen up at the top. We are riding along board with Aiden Hasbrock, the driver in the Bentley, who managed to keep it together throughout the whole entire race to get the NSX towards the last couple of corners and separate the gap. Here he works his way through. Wilson Fernandez is actually going to jump Alex Arduin in this race. He's about 5 seconds off the pace of Wilson Fernandez. Wow. Through the final chicane, here goes the Bentley of Aiden Hasbrock. He's only got 2 more corners, ladies and gentlemen, and he will be the beginning winner of Season 5 here at GT Meister Racing. Here they go. Here he goes. Final 2 corners. Last one onto the main straight. Just needs to keep it nice and tight. No penalties.
still watching Lacroix here, hoping he can
Cross the
jump.
line. Aiden Hasbrock
Benora.
is your winner at Imola. I apologize, Fife.
That's all right. That's all right.
We have Mohammed Irfan coming in, new driver of the league, coming into P2. Matt Artem holding it in throughout the whole entire race, managing to secure a podium spot in P3. Wilson Fernandez coming around the final corner, trying to secure with Chrysler York finishing P14. Cole Bennett finishing P15. Here comes Wilson Fernandez as he's about to cross the line in P4 with a wonderful recovery race. Andre Afonso in the Alexis coming home in P5. Alex Arduin in the GTMR Porsche. What a successful race for him, though, coming home P6. Riviera.
Oh, LaRock just jumped Benora out of Ravata 2 for the line. He's going to make up a position.
Andrew Jaschke crosses the line P8.
Oh, God, Benora's attacking back right now. Benora's ahead of LaRock as they make their way to the line. Benora beats him. Oh.
And there looks like. Well, there
was all kinds of cars parked on the track. Benora just lights them up.
As Andrew Cooper, he's gonna have on. Oh no, that is actually Shuffler, but Andrew Cooper making his way onto the main straight with a successful P13 for him, with Shuffler P19 in the overall finish here in the. What an amazing race, ladies and gentlemen. What an amazing race. Aiden
Great start
Hasbrock
to the season.
with the win, the comeback
Amazing
win.
for Aiden. Did not think he could do it, Eric. Didn't think he could possibly pull back that gap.
I will say Mohammed Irfan came out swinging from qualifying and at the start of the race and about 3/4 of the way through the race. Huge congratulations to him. Finishing P2, but driver of the day. I'm definitely with a lot of the guys. A lot of the guys in the chat. Aiden Hasbrock, driver of the day, definitely keeping his composure, staying together, definitely working their way through. I mean, what an amazing race by these drivers here, all season. I mean, we had a few little things, but nothing super, super crazy. Huge shout out to all the drivers for coming out and participating, especially all the newer drivers. And definitely a huge shout out to all the viewers, definitely all of you guys being a part of this, watching, as well as a huge shout out to Pfeiffer for being a part of the commentary crew this season. We're
Oh,
definitely
thank you
going to
so
have
much
a.
for having me, man. I don't think I'm good at doing this, but like when I'm not racing, it gives me a lot of joy to come here and hang out with you and watch the race and just talk about what we're seeing. So thank you for letting me do that.
Of course, and huge shout out to the Xbox guys that came out to support the PC guys as well. For the viewers that would like to participate, if you're on the PC side, don't worry, come on over. We'll definitely get you guys all set up on the PC side through SimGrid. You can definitely check out, go to SimGrid, I believe it's simgrid.com. TheSimGrid.com. I
The
apologize. It was,
Singram.
yes, TheSimGrid.com. Definitely come out, take a look at us. Go up to host, click host, and there's a search section. Just type in GT Meister, you'll find us. Don't worry if you see the grid full. We are accepting reserves, and we'll definitely get you guys in there in the race as well. If you type in GT and Meister and you're an Xbox driver, don't worry. We've got spots for you available on Sunday nights as well. We'll get you raised. I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll definitely get you guys in there as well to go and race. I've had a pleasure. Five. I hope you had a pleasure to be here.
Had a blast, buddy. Great race. Great start to the season. Well done. Way to have a nice fat grid for race one.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, thank you guys to everybody who is part of the league that shows up and participates. And my name is